Assalamu alaikum, this is Ali Jafar and you're watching Charismatic Pakistan. No country can develop unless its institutions are strong. Change is not possible without improving the governance system. Prime Minister Imran Khan has taken revolutionary steps for strengthening the institutions. Former advisor to Prime Minister on institutional reforms, Dr. Ishrat Hussain believes the present government has made significant progress in restructuring the ministries and their subsidiary departments. Outgoing advisor to the Prime Minister on institutional reforms and austerity, Dr. Ishrat Hussain paid a farewell call on Prime Minister Imran Khan at the PM office. Dr. Ishrat Hussain presented performance report on institutional reforms to Prime Minister Imran Khan. The two-volume report not only included the introductions of reforms but also a detailed future strategy in that regard. Prime Minister Imran Khan lauded the services of Dr. Ishrat Hussain and expressed best wishes for his future. Dr. Ishrat Hussain was assigned for restructuring the government departments, reducing current expenditures and ensuring austerity measures. Dr. Ishrat Hussain's progress report claimed that the federal government entities have been reduced from 441 to 307. According to this report, 206 autonomous bodies, 91 executive departments and 10 constitutional bodies have been notified, whereas summaries are to be submitted by the Cabinet Division. Moreover, rules of business have been amended to incorporate new definitions of autonomous bodies and executive departments. In addition to this, the SRO clarifying the powers and functions has also been issued. The report further claims that appointments of CEOs, MDs of public sector organizations have been conducted through open and merit-based competitive process, and 62 CEOs, including some overseas Pakistanis, were appointed through this process. About the e-governance, the report claims that ministries are using new version of e-office, whereas the electronic submission of summaries for the Prime Minister, Cabinet and committees is under process. For this purpose, hardware has been installed, whereas the official trainings has also been completed. In order to attract new talent from the private sector, the report claims it has been introduced new MP scales policy, which is already notified. According to this process, recruitment process has been broadened, and in addition to advertisements, headhunting firms can identify suitable candidates for shortlisting and interviews. Under this policy, civil servants are allowed one MP SPPS post in their entire career through open competition. As per the report, 22 posts have been converted into special pay scales so far. Dr. Ishrat Hussain's report has also discussed on the delegation of powers given to line ministries. According to this report, Financial Advisors Organization has been abolished, 12 subordinate offices of AGPR have been established in different ministries, whereas 24 CFAOs have been appointed. Under the reforms section, the report carries recommendations for major loss-making entities, including Pakistan Railways, Pakistan International Airlines and Pakistan Steel Mills. For Pakistan Railways, the restructuring plan of the report suggests to make loss-making body efficient by converting its division into 4 companies. That is, Infrastructure Company owned by the government, Freight Company to be operated by the private sector, Passenger Company to be operated by the private sector, ML1 Authority for implementing the 6 billion CPEC project. The report further says that a railway regularity agency independent of the railway board would be formed. It further claims that so far 4 freight and 6 passenger trains have been outsourced. Karachi's circular railway was restarted after 20 years. ML1 plan was approved, whereas land management function has been separated from operations. Moreover, a comprehensive restructuring plan to make PIA a financially viable organization and reduce its dependence on government loans and guarantees has been approved by the ECC. The report claims that an international firm, IATA Consultancy, has endorsed the recommendations of restructuring plan. It was because of this plan thousands of PIA employees opted for voluntary separation scheme. For the Federal Board of Revenue, the report claims a comprehensive reforms agenda to restructure tax collecting body mainly focuses on 3 areas, that is end-to-end automation, functional and organization restructuring, improved human resource management. According to this report, the main objective of the FBR reforms was to reduce the burden of withholding tax regime, harmonize tax collection across the federal government and the provinces, and to introduce automation to minimize the contact between the taxpayer and tax collector. The report further says the tariff determination has been taken away from the FBR and entrusted on the National Tariff Commission. The report claims that tax refunds of 250 billion rupees made through automated system. About the Pakistan steel mills, the report says transaction structure to transfer operating assets to a subsidiary company to revive and operate the mill has been approved, whereas the voluntary separation scheme has also been implemented. It further claims the expression of interest to be issued shortly. For the restructuring of CDA, a report was presented and approved by the Federal Cabinet. Similarly, the governance of CDA has been strengthened with the inclusion of 4 independent leading architects, town planner, educationists as the member of the board. The report claimed that new subsections are being developed and infrastructure projects revived. Moreover, the AGP is being strengthened by transforming it into a modern and professional organization. From the present transaction-based audit to thematic and sectoral audit to maximize the value of public money. New law and reform plan has been approved by the cabinet, the report says. The report has also mentioned the reforms introduced in Competition Commission of Pakistan. The main hurdle, according to the progress report, in the effectiveness of CCP was a long-standing litigation challenging the validity of the organization. This case has now been disposed of and the CCP has been reconstituted with the eminent experts as member and has taken up activities against cartels and collusive business practices. The Lahore High Court has vacated the long-standing stay and financial autonomy of the CCP has been restored and now it is active. Furthermore, a computerized database with geotagging has been developed to maintain an updated inventory of all the plots, buildings and properties belonging to the ETPB. According to the report, the properties would be utilized for constructing hospitals, clinics, dispensaries, schools, colleges and welfare projects. Similarly, the excessive concentration of powers in the hands of chairman has been diluted by separating the positions of chairman and chief executive. The board and the chairman would oversee and supervise while the chief executive would be responsible for managing the organization. The report further claims that encroachments of properties belonging to the ETPB area are being gradually removed. New lease agreements being negotiated and earnings of ETPB have increased. For the Civil Aviation Authority, the report says it is being divided into 2 organizations. One that would be responsible for regularity oversight and enforcement of aviation industry standards, safety and licensing, etc., while the other would manage, develop and operate the commercial operations of the airports. The private sector would be encouraged to enter into concession agreements. The Federal Cabinet has approved the ordinance. Prime Minister Imran Khan proved that the slogan of change was not just to get the votes, but he did it practically. Stay blessed. Pakistan Zindabad.